Yes.
Thank you very much. It's a real pleasure to be here with you, and honored to work again with young Ben. I really appreciate and respect him, and I hope that I will be up to your expectations in order to describe pricing and value. Yeah, I hope that it's going to be interesting for you, and please feel free to ask any question you want. Yeah? Quick words about myself. I'm here to help people make more money, and people like me. So I'm from a finance background. I worked for 10 years with Société Générale Bank. I'm sure you heard about the bank. Then I worked in the commercial development, then in the marketing and data exploitation. And of course, when you have finance background and a commercial strategic background, then you try to optimize the revenue that you have out to invest in the sales of money. Yeah. Then I worked in consulting. I had some entrepreneurship. You will notice I love cats. Young Bay knows why. I run cat hotel business in south of France. I run several cat hotels on the top of being a father, being an employee, and being an investor. And now I've served as a global price manager for a global veterinarian company that manufactures pharmaceutical products for animal health. So animals you eat or animals you pet. Yeah, both. And actually, we're present in Korea. Yeah?
Your company is in Korea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, to introduce a little bit the topic of value, imagine that you are here on the beach. It's very nice, but it's very warm. Yeah, and you're very, very thirsty. How much would you be willing to pay for a drink at my friend Eduardo here for a drink? What would be your price, the highest price you can pay for a bottle of water? €6? Yeah.
$5.
$5, okay. More or less, okay. How much would you pay? The maximum price.
2.5 euros.
2.5 euros. Eduardo?
Maybe you didn't go to Cannes. Maybe
It's very hot.
Normandy,
You're very thirsty.
but it's 6 times more expensive than Carrefour. That's why. Carrefour.
You already anticipate what I'm adding. Okay.
Excellent.
So,
€10.
yeah. Okay, €10. So anything, 2.5 is the minimum, which is already way higher than the supermarket. And €10, I mean, you buy the whole pack of Coca-Cola with €10 in the supermarket. All right. So now I'm going to repeat exactly the same question. You're at the beach. It's very, very warm, and you're very, very thirsty. But the only place where you can get a drink is the Hyatt 5-star hotel in Honolulu. And now you have this nice bottle of Coca-Cola. How much would you be willing to pay for this bottle of Coca-Cola right here?
Okay, €10.
€10.
Including services and prices.
And tips. Okay, so 20. Yeah. Okay, so what changed between this and this? Service, the environment, yeah, the feeling you have, the way you're going to be seated, the way you're going to be treated, the way you're going to feel about yourself, but not the bottle of Coke. Exactly same temperature, exactly the same bottle. Yeah? So, and here you see the power of pricing, the power of not only branding, because it's still Coca-Cola, not Pepsi or whatever. Yeah? And in your daily life, this kind of situation you're facing always. Yeah? Would you get coffee on Champs-Élysées? Or would you go, next to it? So here we come to the notion of value in a price, and the price that your customers are willing to pay for your services, and therefore the profit you're making out of your service, does not only depend on the product, depends on the value you're communicating. Yeah? Because price is a a very small thing when we think about it. Price seems big because we say price as a generic term, but price can be a subscription, can be a membership, can be a rent, participation, contribution, license, commission, fees, tariff, exercise, tax. We don't like tax. Can be retribution, installment, premium, compensation, daily rent. You can put a lot of words. But the bare meaning that it has is you give me money and I give you value. So there is much more in pricing than just the 5 euros or the 10 euros. Much more. Okay. Talking about the value, so one of my favorite books from one of the world leader in terms of pricing is that a good pricing, first you need to create value because this is what the customer is going to pay. But you need to quantify, and this is challenging. How do I quantify the extra dollar you're going to get because you're in 5-star hotel instead of being with Eduardo with his carriage on the beach? And then you need to be able to communicate. Brand is one thing for sure, but communicate the value you're giving and not getting away from your value zone too easily is going to be my main point today. Of course, you all know this man, Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world. He said that price is what you pay, value is what you get. For instance, when you're buying a Kia car, you get 7 years guarantee. When you're buying a Toyota car, you know it's never going to die. When you're buying a Peugeot, you know you're going to have to service it in 2 years. Yeah? So you need to be aware of it. If we are comparing why price is important, I can make a small P&L statement. I will have one soon, you will see. If I'm changing price 1%, and that I'm not changing the cost of goods and the unit sold, your net profit margin is going to increase by, on average, 10%. Yeah, I say 10%, your studies is 11.1%. If you change the variable cost from 1%, your improvement, of course, the impact on your net profit will be 7.8%. This is not me saying it's our business review, but we will do some profit and loss statements together. Yeah. If you do increase on volume, your profit is only 3.3%. Are you here to make sales volume, or are you in business to make profit? It's a good question. If the sales force you're managing don't have this clear in mind, and they want absolutely the volume without having the profit out of the volume, you're working for free. Nobody wants to work for free. And if you include the fixed cost, it's 2.3%, but I mean, we are in a time that fixed costs, is very incompressible, very hard to lower fixed costs. Okay, so one of the most important pricing decision one of the most profit decision you're making is price. Okay, price can be measured if I'm having the perceived performance of your product against the price that the customer has to pay. There is always a trade-off. How much am I willing to pay for my Rolex watch or for my sweats or my Casio watch? How much am I willing to pay for my drink at Marriott or in the sea, the beach? Okay, so you have what is here called a fair value line, which is basically the linear regression of an offer that can be very highly priced, but also a lot of value. You have on the opposite, very cheap but low quality. And if you're here, basically this will be the Mercedes. You have performance, but you have a high price because of the brand. Yeah. If you are, for instance, here, you have more value with the Kia, but then you don't have the price of the Mercedes. I mean, when you purchase a Kia, 7 years guarantee. I drive Kia, by the way, for you to know. You have 7 years warranty. It never breaks down, and it's way cheaper than Mercedes. I have full option. I mean, why would I pay Mercedes? value of the car decreases. Yeah? It's a cost always, right? So there is a tool that we call value map. It's easy to do. It's a small exercise. We can, like do a specific workshop if you're interested in order to quantify the performance, the value against the price. And if you're here, or if you're here, you're not in the same game at all. Yeah? If you're here, or if you're here, you're not in the same game at all. If you're here, you're forgiving money. So it means that you're purchasing market shares from your competitors, hopefully. If you don't, it means that you have a problem with your sales force. If you're here, it means that you're overpriced. Maybe you're a market leader. Maybe you have a good brand. Maybe you have some unfair competitive advantage, giving you value for nothing. Yeah. It's good to be here. Yeah? But if you're here, it's stealing the customer. Yeah? If it's here, it's Mother Teresa. You're doing good for your soul. Yeah? It's okay, no problem. Just make it a conscious choice. Yeah? We have another way, another tool. It's called the Van Westendorp price sensitivity model. It's a tool that I use very, very often. I ask people, how much are you willing to pay for a Rolex? I say, 100 euros for a Rolex? No, it's going to be fake. Yeah. Are you willing to pay, 20,000 euros for a Rolex? Depends on the Rolex, but maybe it's too expensive just because you will never put this much money on a watch. Okay? But some people will. So it means that the more your price high, the least the demand curve. Yeah? Then the more here, so after some point, because it's marginal cheapness makes the customer doubt the quality. If you're too cheap, people will not purchase. So it means that, again, you have people that will reject your offer because you're too expensive or because you're too cheap. You ask the question, is it too cheap or is it too expensive? And when you make the subtraction from the too expensive minus the too cheap, you get this bell curve. Do you know what is the bell curve? It's the demand curve. Yeah? This demand curve teaches you that, for instance, 66% of my customer, under this assumption, this is a real product, by the way, will agree to pay $44, whereas 71% of my customers will be willing to accept a price of 27%. What would you do? If you were me, we're in a business together, and we're here because we want to pay our holidays this summer. Would you be here or would you be here? Let alone the competition for the moment. Just what would you do just with this? 44?
44?
44? Would you? You're a clever guy. You're a clever guy. So when I multiply the percentage of people that would be willing to pay the price they are willing to pay, I get a revenue curve. And you can see always, you can test 10,000 times if you want, the revenue curve and the demand curve is going to always be shifted because you can never maximize your profit and your customer reach at the same time. It's impossible. Yeah, it means that you can only do one or the other. You can do one or the other, but it means that you're going to have to strike a balance between the two. AI, either you choose profit, either you choose market share. Yeah, you're never going to do the two at once. Okay. The difference in this case, so current price was 45. You see that actually there is a very good pricing manager that says the price that said last year the price should be 45. Then this is the revenue we do. So 2.6 million on this SKU. And now you see that the highest revenue, we can slightly improve our revenues by lowering the price. But if we were in a competitive environment where we are under attack of the competition, I know that I can go down. But you see, I will forego €1 million. Why would I? To make people happy by having 71% market share? I don't need. I prefer money on this SKU. Yeah? So, in order for you to, again, visualize what I'm saying, you have Bugatti Chiron, 2.5 million euros the car. You have Ford Mondeo, 23,000, and you have a Dacia Sandero for 7,000. Here we have our demand curve. High price, low demand, high demand, low price. Where would you position Bugatti, Ford, or Dacia?
What is here?
Sorry? Dacia is?
I say it's here.
High
I
demand.
know here.
Yeah, low price, high demand.
Yes.
Two prices.
Low price,
I demand.
High demand.
Mondeo,
Middle.
yeah, and of course, Bugatti over there. Yeah. So it's exactly the same thing as we said here. Yeah. But you just need to make sure that you align your value proposition with your price position. Okay? Because if you put your Bugatti Chiron here, for instance, because maybe the cost of manufacturing the car is going to be more than the Mondeo,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be, so do you think they are having cost plus pricing over a Bugatti Chiron? Likely not. They are pricing the brand, they are pricing the value, they are pricing the exclusivity, because when you drive such kind of car, you don't want to see the same car all over. You want to be unique. You want to be seen as being different. Okay? So, then that's why, according to you, is it better to sell more volume at a lower margin? With what we said earlier, more volume at a lower margin and bring 1 million euros home? Or is it better to make less volume and higher margin and bring 1 million home? What would be your choice?
Less volume, high margin.
Less volume, high margin?
Yeah.
Well,
All three items with different brand.
in general, we can do it with your own company. I'm happy. Yeah? What would you prefer?
If possible, we do in the bottom.
No.
Less volume, higher margin, but is it possible? I think the upside is more easy, but down is more difficult.
But high-end model.
Huh?
High-end model, absolutely.
More difficult.
I choose more volume,
More volume,
higher
higher
margin,
margin.
and bring 2 million. Yeah. Why wouldn't I? If I can. And how can I? Yeah, that's the question.
That
Yeah?
is the question.
That's the question. Of course, it's everybody is asking the same question. Yeah. So, of course, very often, if you're playing into the volume game, you need to make sure that you own the production capability with the competitive advantage that you can sustainably produce at a cheaper cost. Yeah? But you see that even now in China, they don't manufacture everything themselves. They are having other countries to manufacture for them. So it means that the cost advantage is a short-term advantage. It's not an advantage. Yeah. Apple is manufacturing in China, but everything is still based in the US. It would be so easy to ship everything in Asia, but it's not what they do. So that's why the cost advantage shouldn't be a long-term strategy. You can play, but you have to know, again, conscientiously, that it's a short-term decision. If we come back to, little thing, you're selling 100 units of a product that you sell 100 pounds. Okay? Your cost per unit is 60 pounds. So your total budget, 100 pounds times 100 units, is 10,000 units. So 10,000 pounds. Okay? The margin per unit, so your selling price, minus your cost, so you know that it's 40% margin. Okay? The total margin on the unit sold basically is 100 units multiplied by the 40 pounds that you're doing per unit, so that's 40,000 in your pocket.
2,000.
Huh? Very simple example. Yeah? But I'm sure you all have this in your companies. Yeah, different figures, of course, but this always happens. Let's see now. So let's keep in mind 44,000 in the pocket. Yeah. Now what I'm doing, I'm your customer and I ask for 10% discount. I'm not purchasing more, and your costs stay the same. You know that you have inflation, so it means that you know that your cost will not stay the same. But let's take the assumption that your cost stays the same. So now you're selling at 90 pounds. 90 pounds means your turnover is 9,000. Your margin drops from 40% to 33%. You remember when I told you that the net impact of 1% change in price yields a 10% impact on margin? Yeah. So now 100 units times 30, it's 3,000. So you lost 1,000 euros, 1,000 pounds. Okay. It is simple, but people never think about this very simple thing when they are making a deal to a customer. Because 10% discount here, without asking for more business, so more sales volume, is a loss. You lost 1,000 immediately. It was so easy to ask for more sales volume. Okay. So in general, so 10,000, 4,000, 9,000, 3,000. So it means it's a 1,000 pounds gap. Okay. People never think about this. So you would tell me, yeah, if I give 10% discount, my volume should, or if I reduce my price by 10%, I should get more market share because competition, I will get more sales volume. Okay, it depends on how much. So let's take the example. You have your 1,000 pounds, yeah, but then it's on the 90 pounds that you're selling. Means that you will forego 12 extra units. So instead of selling 100 units, what you should be asking your customer is, if you really want 10% discount, I need you to purchase 112 units. It's so easy, but I challenge you all. Tomorrow you go to business, you see your employees, and you ask them, do you do this when your customer wants discount? I'm pretty certain that nobody is doing it, because everywhere I go, I show this, nobody is doing it. Yeah? And it's very simple. It's give and take. I give you a better price, but you give me some more volume. Yeah. So it means that your turnover is going to be 1,200, and then you see that your margin with this is 3,360. AI, even with this, units extra, with the sales volume that you claimed on the 12, is not enough to catch up with the 4,000. You're still forgiving money. You're still basically lowering the value signal you're sending to your customer. So then if you're, how much do you need to have it? So the thing is, if you're asking for 34 extra units, yeah, that's the 1,000 divided by 30, which was the previous margins you had. With these 34 extra units, then basically your turnover will be 1,260 pounds. So compared to the 1,000 pounds turnover you had initially, you increased the turnover. So it means your chiffre d'affaires, your business is growing. But by the way, the people that say French, are you comfortable? Am I not speaking too fast?
It's okay.
It's okay? And the total margin on your units sold with the 34 extra units, it's 4,020. It's breaking even. Yeah? It's not for the 20 pounds more that you've made, but you made the smart decision saying, okay, Mr. Customer, we managed to find an agreement that is commonly profitable. Everybody is okay. Remember, I prefer to take the 2 millions and have the price and the volume. Yeah? Everybody is happy. All right, so how about free goods? I'm pretty sure that in your business you have free goods. Buy one, get one free. Yeah? What does it mean, buy one and get one free?
50%.
33. 1 for 3. 33%. 50% is buy one.
Buy one get off.
Buy one get one free. 50%. Yeah.
Yes.
Buy three and get one free. 33%. You're right. Yeah. Buy four and get one free. 25%. Yeah. 25%. How much more units do you need to sell in order to make sure that you have the buy four and get one free? It's staggering. Let's see. So you get 400 for 5 units. It means that your price is 80. So actually, this 80, you see, it's a 20%, not really a 25%, because they paid for the rest. So it means that if we're doing the math, your turnover decreased, your profit decreased. Yeah? And your costs actually stay the same because it's more units that you have paid yourself. Yeah, you paid it at cost of goods sold, but you still paid it. Okay. So, conclusion of it, I'll share the slide, and I have a tool for you that does all the maths for you. Even with this buy one get all free, then basically you have adverse impact on your profitability, and it means that your sales volume is not making up for what you want. Yeah. Okay. Then wait. But if the customer bought the same number of units, yeah. So it's buy one get one free is 100 units plus 24 free. So basically, it means that you've sold 125. AI, it's 80 per units. So again, you see that your turnover stays the same as if you were selling 100. Yeah? And it means that your margin gets lower. It's really a business case that you should avoid. And it's really a business case that your sales teams, they like to do because they have the feeling that they are moving the business. And if we're going to talk deeper about price governance, if your sales force are incentivized on signing contracts and making sales volume, they will always go for cheap because it's easy, because they do this. If they are incentivized on the margins, then they will make smarter decisions. So as commercial director, our job is to have them make profitable business. Okay, how much will the sale need to rise to make up margin shortfall? Again, it's a small calculation. You see that it's for the same shortfall that we have calculated, the buy four, get one free, is 100 units extra. So unless you know that the customer is going to come back next week or next month, whatever, with a new order and make 200 euros worth of business with you, free goods is never a good idea. Free goods is like a drug dealer. You know, the first dose of drug in the streets is always free. The first cigarette is always free. The first drink of alcohol is always free. Guess why? Guess why?
Will be continued.
You're right, because you will continue purchasing.
Yes.
I mean, drug dealers are actually very smart business owners. Yeah, it's a very risky, illegal, unethical, whatever. But if you're not smart in this kind of business, you're out of business. Yeah. All right. So again, you know, like the idea is that with an increase in units of 34% is required in order to make sure that you're breaking even. And in the second scenario that we've seen, then it's 100%. So you're doubling the number of units, yeah, to meet the target. So basically, my message here is to defend the margins and to make sure that you're in the business for profit, yeah, not really sales. Okay. And so talking about discounts, we can, go on and on. So this for veterinarians and etc. So are you really going to purchase more? I have a small tool. I think that Yangbe will share this, PowerPoint presentation and an Excel tool. It's a small gift that I have for you. Is this? You have here a profit calculator. Yeah, the profit calculator. You give your product I don't know if you're selling by the kilograms, if you're selling by the units, the box, the liters, whatever products you're selling, currency or whatever you choose. So you have 1,000 units. The unit price is 100 euros. Your cost is 50 euros. Yeah, you have a new price, but then your COGS are increasing in this example. But you don't change the price because you want to keep the relation with the customer, but your COGS are increasing and you cannot pass on the COGS increase to your customer. What is going to happen? You have a business that is 50% margin. Of course, 5% price increase from 50 to 55, it's 5,000 profit change, means that your new margin becomes now 45%. So this is all calculated. Here, what I'm saying is that you have the break-even point, AI, in the scenario that we saw of same number of units, same net selling price, and COGS increase of 5%, then it means that you need to sell 111 extra units to break even in order to face this change here. In the case that now your customer wants 5% discount, 5% discount, 5% COGS increase, 10% COGS increase, sorry, here, then in order just to break even, to maintain your profit, you need to sell an additional 250 kilos of your product. Yeah? I don't know if you had in mind or if you realized the magnitude of each percent point of value that you're losing when your price is wrong. Yeah, it means that if here your price decreasing, your COGS increasing, it's a scissor effect on your profit. Okay, and here this little Excel tool is telling you, and it's a good tool for your salespeople. This is the base situation. See, 0% price change, 0% quantity change. If the quantity is increasing because your customer wants to purchase more product, you see that you can even give discounts. But for 25% more sales units, then it means you can give only a 10% discount. Okay? If, for instance, you need to increase your price, yeah, because you want to increase price for whatever reason, and you want to increase the price assumed by 35%, yeah, for whatever reason. I wouldn't advise to do it, but 35%. It means that even if you're losing 30% of your business, you would still be making 9,500 incremental profit, yeah, in that situation. Okay, so here is the incremental change of profit, and here is the total profit that you're having. Yeah, this was the 50,000 at the beginning. If you were to increase your price by 30%, the 100 euros becomes 139. You lost all your sales quantity, and then basically, you're getting back there. Okay, so this is interesting, but this is only one SKU. I'm pretty sure that in your companies, you're having hundreds, thousands of SKUs, right? If you're having thousands of SKUs, then basically you have this profit here. So you have different products, you have different number of units, you have your list price, you have the discounts you give to the wholesaler. And who is selling through wholesalers? Are you familiar with these indirect distributions? When you're selling to a wholesaler, the wholesaler dispatches to several retail points. Yeah. So the wholesaler gets discounts. Probably at the end of the year, it comes with another invoice for service fees, data, all this kind of regulations, broken products, returns, this kind of stuff. And then probably at the end of the year, you would pay a rebate to your customer. Yeah. It's easy to change if that's not really relevant. But in that example, I filled it with some examples of giving 15% discounts to the wholesaler, and 63% discount to the retailer, your end consumer. Okay, it means that here you have the retailer purchase price. Yeah, you have your manufacturer triple net after all the discounts you've paid to the distribution, wholesalers, and veterinarians. Yeah, you have your cost per unit, so you have your gross turnover, net profit, gross margin. And now comes the negotiation part when you're facing your customer, and on the customer, you'd say, okay, Mr. Customer, if you want from the 62%, you want 65% discount. So it's 2% additional discounts. It's already a big amount of discount here. And that's the tool tells you, okay, if you want to increase your discount by 2%, you need to ask at least 58 units more of sales in order to break even. AI, your new units will increase by 500. Your triple net will decrease, your gross margin will decrease, but your turnover will increase and your net profit. In that case, would you make the decision to give more discounts to your customer, knowing that you were doing 250,000 worth of business? Your new turnover so your net turnover will be 55, and after the deal, you would be selling for roughly 400,000 with 77 and a drop of 5.30% in profitability. Would you take that deal if you were to make a deal with me?
It's make more profit.
Yeah. Would you take it?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course we would take it. Of course you would take it.
You discount them, you make more money.
If now in the units, so I'm changing the units, okay, you have the same informations that are appearing, and in the synthesis, you're having this. Base business, 248,000, and now it's 305. Turnover, 54. Turnover, net, 61. Profit, 27,621, 27,687. Would you take the business? You would tell me what's the competition, what's the inflation, what's the this, what's that. Of course, yeah. Of course, you don't take a decision solely on Excel. You need all this. But this is a pain point because you're breaking even and you will do the decision because you're a price taker. You cannot impose your price to the customer. Okay? And if now I'm doing this, base business, 248, new business, 388, turnover, 54,67, and now you have profit. What would you do? I hope you will take it. Yeah? So the tool is telling you how much discounts, rebate, or volume you need to give. There is a fine equilibrium to do in order to make profitable decision 100% of the time. Yeah? And if you choose to not be in profit, it's because you know you will earn more later. Yeah? This drug dealer business case. Yeah? But it's a clever way to making sure that you understand the financial dynamic that is going on with a very, very simple example on one product. And here, I mean, if you want to have 10,000 products down in this file, then no problem, you can have 10,000 products, yeah? But you know that you're making a profitable decision each time. Yeah? And so Yongbe will send you this tool as well for you to get acquainted to it. And if you want to change it, contact me. I'm happy to help. Okay? Is it okay? Is it fine for you? It's your understanding and realizing the power that we have here in pricing? Okay. So whenever I'm doing some pricing, so yeah, when you work on price, yeah, very often the commercial and the pricing strategy are not formalized. So it means that your sales team are behaving the way they want. They don't have boundaries that they need to comply. I see it all the time. My advice, enforce the rules. And you have the tool to make sure that you're profitable. This should be the only one rule that you should ask. Yeah? Price governance. At the end of each quarter, somebody takes each and every deal and make sure that each and every deal were profitable. If they are not profitable, you as commercial directors, business owners, business developers, you know that you need to review why have I made a loss-making deal, and if there is a specific offer to a customer, you need to get close to this customer because you need to grow the business. Of course, analytics and data, yeah, that's one of the value that we have today. Business practices, of course, if you're doing in several countries, it's going to be different, but making sure that you understand and that you map correctly the business practices. Some cultures, some countries, they are more into acquiring market shares. Some others, they are more into acquiring the profit first. I mean, you need to know these kind of things, yeah? And the value will be different according to different people. Yeah, this is customer segmentation. Undisciplined execution, the sales reps commissioned on volume rather than on margin. This is the beginning of problem if your reps are commissioned on sales volume. Yeah, and lack of specific tools. I mean, just now you have a gift of one tool that I believe will create value if you use it for your. And then, so the best practices, price strategy, the key question that you should ask yourself is, what's your objective when you define a price? Again, do I want market share? Do I want margin? Do I want to differentiate from the customer, from the competition? Yeah. Am I selling the same product that all the other competitors? Yeah. Need to make sure. Do you have solid foundation of price? Yeah. Do you have enough data? Do you have enough understanding of what your environment is? How do you define customers' willingness to pay? Some people are ready to pay 5,000. Some other people, they would be willing to pay only 1,000 for exactly the same product. Can you balance? Can you give less value to one, more value to the other? Not. Yeah? Is the organization, so the humans in the organization, have not only the aim, but also the path? And I say the long-term direction they should follow, and do they have the specific direction that they should, ensure, and as a checkbox, making sure they are complying with the direction you're given. Yeah. And how do you control risk? This is the execution, because you saw that making a bad decision on price is costly. Okay. And basically, when you have this, defining the price strategy, you would want to have your business strategy, market positioning, product mix, making sure if you have high differentiated products or if you have commodity, it's not going to be the same. Do you want to increase your market share or the margins? Yeah. What is the strategy but different geography? If you are in Champs-Élysées, probably it's not going to be the same than if you are in Nanterre, yeah, or in South France, whatever. Yeah? So these are the key questions that are very simple, but whenever I'm having to price a product for a product launch, if I don't have, not exactly on this form, but if I don't have a report with these questions answered, I don't validate the marketing strategy. And then the product is not launched. Because if you don't have this, you're sure to make a bad decision. Of course, understanding your customers, making sure that you understand the customer segments. Some people are willing to pay more, some people are willing to pay less. Yeah? The perception of value from the consumers, their expected discounts. In some industries, 50% discount is just the norm, and you wouldn't be differentiated because you give 50% discount if everyone else is giving 60% discount, for instance. Yeah, if it's the common business practice. These are things that obviously you know from experience, but when it's in writing, the sales force and the marketing team, they work more efficiently together. Okay? Obviously, your suppliers, because selling more is good, but if you can purchase for less, yeah, at a cheaper cost of goods, it's also very important. Making sure that your suppliers, if they increase the price for a good reason. Because you will find yourself in the position of somebody purchasing. And you will want the 10% discount without giving the quantity. Yeah? And obviously, last but not least, how are positioned your customers? We saw on the value map, if you were on the high end, if it's crowded in this area, don't go on a crowded area. Go on a place where you're alone, because your value and your price positioning will be better understood by the consumer, and therefore you'll be more efficient to make your place. Yeah. Data and organization. Of course, it's very important. There are a lot of tools and a lot of analysis we can do. Very happy to help out. If you need this. So record the prices that you're having. If you're deviating from the profitability zone, please make sure that is recorded. Make sure that the difference between the grid price and the average net selling price that you're having. So all these are tips and ideas that you have here on the PowerPoint. You will have it. If you want to back the analysis, you will see there's always value in this analysis. Yeah, and these are examples of analysis that I do when I'm having a price project or product. Yeah, making sure that you have a pricing committee where you're reviewing this. If you have 1 hour per month dedicated only to this, I guarantee the hour will be profitable. Otherwise, I'll pay it with my own money. Yeah, but I'm sure that it will be profitable. Only 1 hour per month. Making sure that deals are profitable. Yeah. Customer segmentation now. We have these two guys. You know them? King Charles and Ozzy Osbourne. They are both Britons. They are both married. They are both born in the same year. They are both father of two. Do you think that they behave in the same way? No, I don't think so. Yeah. So the customer segmentation is based on behavior. And your discounts should be based on behavior. Yeah. If you're a very profitable customer, if it's easy to serve, then it's easy for me to give a discount. And you have some very simple models that you can, for instance, the attractiveness of your customer portfolio that is ranked by your sales volume, loyalty, yeah, strategic segment. So is the product profitable that you're selling? And profitability. You can actually add here the share of wallet. If you have 100% of your customer purchases, it will not be the same as if you are 5% of your customer purchase. Because if you're 5%, it will overlook you. If you're 100% or whatever, the massive amount of your customer purchase, it will be dependent on you. And therefore, your behavior is not going to be the same because his behavior is not going to be the same. So it's easy to rank your customer portfolio against 4 customer attractiveness criteria and 4 cost to serve criteria, because you need to know which customers are profitable. Because if the customer is already non-profitable and is asking for more discounts, of course, yeah. But then, if your top customer is asking for discounts and he says, I want to grow, I want to open another shop, no problem, I help you. Again, if your price is only 100, but your customers are different willingness to pay, you would be much better off not sell all this quantity, so the 100 quantity at 100 euros, instead of making sure that you are adapting to your customers. Yeah.
So which means it's better with a different price than just one fixed price, right? Interesting.
So actually in France we have the competition law and the DGCCRF, Direction Générale de la Compétition et Répression des Fraudes, have us, it's very, they have us to be fair with the market. AI, you need to have the same list price to all your customers. Yeah. So everybody in the room will have the same list price 100. Yeah. But if you want to have a different price because you're a bigger customer, because you have potential, because your segmentation, etc., then you have a bigger discount. But the list price in France has to be the same for everyone. Yeah. If you purchase to sell online or if you purchase to have brick and mortar, then of course it's going to be a different discount. But the list price should to be the same.
Yes.
Otherwise, you may have problem with the police. Yeah, in France, it's very serious. You cannot have different prices.
I do the same. Our wholesale price is one price, same, and then depends on the customer size and the volume. I give you different discount rate. That's what I'm doing. So I'm not going to go jail.
And your pricing manager is going to be grateful, and also the commercial manager, because you need to maintain only one list price. Imagine you have 2,000 SKUs. It means that you need to track 2,000 price points. If you have several list prices, then you multiply these 2,000 SKUs by the number of list prices. Really avoid it. It's better to track discounts as a percentage, not in amounts. Yeah, it's better to track discounts instead of having several list prices. Yeah. And then you have a notion of price architecture. The price architecture, I was consulting for Filorga. You know Filorga? They are selling, face creams in the pharmacies all over. You can find that. They are very, very common. It was, like a water to cleanse the face, etc. They were having the price per unit for the 2 bottle of 400 ml and the price of the 1 single bottle of 400 ml equivalent in the price per milliliter, and the price per box, they were here. So here, the customers, they were rightfully incentivized, because you see it's 12 euros per box if you purchase 2, if it's 17 euros if you purchase 1. So you have a discount here if you purchase 2, because these are the price per box. Yeah. But the price per millimeter, you see, it's almost the same. So it means that Filorga is not losing a lot of money in terms of cost of goods, but they incentivize people to purchase 2 boxes at once. So the customer price, it's 12 times 2. So the people, they spend 24 euros instead of spending only 17. You drive the behavior of your customer with specific discounts in order to have more volume. You see, it happens everywhere. Yeah? And the same customer, they are having the problem. This one's Hydra filler, so it was to avoid wrinkles and so on and so forth. And here, 30 ml and 50 ml. And this was in the United States. And you can see the price per milliliter was higher, when you were purchasing the 50 ml instead of purchasing the 30 ml. What would you do if you have this information? You purchase 2 30 ml, you have 60 ml in your hands for less money. So it means that Filorga was losing money. I haven't done anything. I haven't moved product. I didn't see any customer. I didn't do nothing. I just changed the price, and they made a lot of money just by noticing this and changing this. Okay. So you see, and I'm sure it happens all the time. I don't know what you're selling, in terms of business, but this example, I see it all the time. Yeah. And as sales directors, basically, when you're having your discounts, with the total list price sales. So these customers, they are purchasing a lot, and the bottom of the invoice is very important. And they have very little discount for these guys. And these guys here, they have high discounts on small purchase. What do you think? Is it good to give a lot of discounts on small customer? course not. I just made a graph and we killed this business that was not profitable, small business, big discount. No good. We killed it. Big business, small discount. Very good, but not sustainable. We changed it. Yeah? And what we wanted to have is when you have small customer, they are within a band of profitability with small discounts. The more they grow, then the more they are. That's why you have, I'm sure, key account managers that are specifically focused on the high-end customers, and you have relationship managers for the everyday business. Yeah. As commercial director, this analysis and correcting each customer deal is highly profitable. Yeah. And then the governance is you have your list price and you have your desired discount because you know that it's your profitability level. This, when you're within the corridor, your sales representative, I would say everyday sales representative that handles the customer, can do whatever they want. If they are deviating from your band of profitability for more than a certain percent, that depends on your products and that you will know with the Excel tool that I gave you, then it's the local sales manager. You see, you're going a bit up because there is a stay on the discount. And then if it's more, then it goes to the regional sales manager. And I don't know how deep is the organization that you're working for, but yeah. And then if you're going, more than 20% and up to 50%, then it's the sales directors that needs to validate because he needs to assess that there is a real value of having this. Yeah. And obviously, if you give more than 50% discount, then it should be prohibited. And here, what you have is your demand curve, your profitability curve. You see, you remember this on the tool that I gave you? This thing here? You see that you have a line that is red that goes down. If you want to give more discount, then you need to ask the permission of a higher ranking manager. Then basically, it's exactly what you have here, in the sense that you need to craft this for your own profitability rules, making sure that you're always profitable. And this is the beginning of price governance, and this is the beginning of your pricing journey. And that's it for me. If you have questions, I'm very happy to answer.